Good morning. Thanks for your company. This Wednesday, the 3rd of March, I'm Jessica Amir, market analyst with Bell Direct. Well, despite bond yields and long-term interest rates stabilising, US investors locked in profits overnight in tech, consumer spending and real estate stocks, which dragged down the S&P 500 0.6% and the Nasdaq down 1.5%. Now, despite that, stocks are still up this week in the US thanks to yesterday's or the day before's gains, which were the biggest since June. What's really vital to point out is that overnight we learned that US economic optimism, as measured by the Optimism Index, returned to positive territory for the first time since October. And now optimism is back at its highest level since Feb 2020, pre the COVID-19 shutdown. Now, the mining sector in the US was the only to finish in the green overnight, thanks to BHP and Rio shares in New York, both rising almost 2%. Thanks to the iron ore price hitting a new 9.5-year high as it lifted 0.8% overnight, and the iron ore price has collectively gained about 11% this year, with questions remaining over Brazilian iron ore major Vale about their supply. As for standout stocks, economic comeback kids did well overnight, like Carnival, Las Vegas Sands, Royal Caribbean, as well as car makers like Ford and GM. They all rose over 2% or more each. As for what to watch today, well, the broad Aussie market is expected to lift by 0.2%, largely thanks to commodities charging. Importantly, we did see the ASX close above its 50-day moving average yesterday, which was good to see, but we're looking for further momentum to indicate that we are indeed on a very strong path forth over the long term. Now, on top of the iron ore price rally, we did see copper make a significant 2.6% gain overnight. Gold rose off its 8-month low overnight, rising 0.6%. Silver also up by 0.6% as investors bought back into commodities to hedge and instead continue to sell out of bonds. But when it comes to gold stocks, just pausing here, Newcrest Mining, NCM and St Barbara SBM both are in downtrends. And momentum is continuing to build in southern directions in terms of their share prices. So I consider waiting if you are looking at buying into these stocks. However, when it comes to copper, keep an eye on stocks with a strong share price and earnings momentum that have been making sizable gains of late, including Oz Minerals, OZL, Sandfire Resources, SFR. In the smaller caps, Aeris Resources, AIS, Copper Mountain Mining Corporation, C6C, and it's also worthwhile pointing out that these copper stocks, are in technical breakout, so it could be worth a look closer at those. Also, keep an eye on some of those most traded stocks from yesterday. For our active trader desk, Bell Direct Advantage, they included PIL, which fell 21%, and CAE, which rose 124%. Economic data in full focus today. All eyes are on the last quarterly growth report reading for 2020, expected to show the economy put on 2.5% last quarter, but shrank 1.8% last year, which is outperforming most G20 countries. But if the figures are better than expected, we'll probably see the broad market rally, with banks, insurance companies and possibly consumer spending stocks seeing a bit of extra buying. So keep that in mind. Trading ideas that could be worth your consideration. The salt and potash business BCI Minerals, BCI is their ticker, they were given a little upgrade overnight. Bell Potter maintained their buy rating in BCI, but increased their target to 50 cents. That implies 64% upside in a year. So why is that? Well, BCI reported better than expected earnings and revenue in the half year. Bell Potter expects BCI's growth projects and earnings to help the company continue its success, and it'll also wave the ESG flag pretty vigorously, so BCI could be one to watch. And secondly, UBS reiterated its buy recommendation on CSL overnight with a 330 price target. Although CSL's shares are in a short-term downtrend as it's been hit by COVID lockdowns, UBS notes that CSL has seen a rise in blood plasma collections of 12% in Feb, and UBS sees its business growing its revenue by 40%, albeit off a weak base. And lastly, keep an eye on Suncorp, SUN, Deep Yellow, DYL, and JB Hi-Fi, JBH. They could be worth a look. They're giving off bullish charting signals, according to Trading Central. I'm Jessica Amir with Bell Direct. Thanks for your company. Happy trading. Stay safe.